Whenever I think about the person that I lost, I think about the times when we laughed and when we had fun. And I try to remember that's the person that I've lost. It changes the person that I once knew into somebody I don't know, I didn't know. And it's so hard to remember the love that you had for that person when they were that happy, go lucky soul, full of life, full of laughter. But it helps me to remember that the person that died was the person that was so much in pain and so sick, and not the person that he was so long ago when he was happy and full of life. So I try to remember the good times. I know that sometimes there's resentment for what happened in the end time. There's things that went wrong. There were things that were hard to deal with. And sometimes the things get to be too much, and there's people that part ways, and there's guilt around that. But you do what you need to do at the time to survive. I have to believe that person didn't want to be that way, but they were sick. It was an illness. So I try to have empathy for the fact that that wasn't the real person. The real person was a loving, caring, giving person who cared for others. And that's the person I choose to remember. And some days it's not easy because there's days where there's anger or resentment, and there's days that you feel sadness because you've been robbed of those special moments. Those days where people get married or have a first baby or birthdays or a celebration, there's always something missing. I try to remember that person's not really missing, that somewhere they're looking over you and that they're with you and that they're still a part of you and a part of what's going on. I carry the memory of that person so that they can be a part of everything, even though they physically aren't here anymore. I try to remember that they are there. The pain is my pain, not their pain anymore. That the pain that they felt, it's not there anymore. It took a long time, but in some way now there's some satisfaction that that person is free of their pain. My pain may not be gone, but their pain is gone. And maybe that's the only way they could get rid of that pain. I have to believe that as hard as that was for all of us, and as hard as it was for everybody to accept what happened, that person did what the only thing they could do to go on in some way. Their spirit couldn't survive here on a physical plane because of the pain they were in, so they chose a way to find some peace, and I have to accept that. That was their choice. And I think that the guilt that we all feel, the guilt that comes with this, why couldn't I have done something? Shouldn't I have known? Couldn't I have stopped it? That's my pain, but do I have the right to tell that person that they have to live with that pain? To watch someone that's been through this and the pain that they are enduring, there's something in all of us that just wants to be there to make a difference for somebody else, to make some sense of what's happened, to make something good come of it, to make a difference for somebody else means so much to absolutely every one of us that we can't just sit there and suffer alone. If we can touch somebody else or support somebody else or be there for somebody else, because we can't change the pain that they're going to go through, but what we can do is just be there to hold their hand, or be there to listen, or just be there to say, to nod our head and say, yeah, that pain is there, and I see it, and I've had pain like that it makes sense that pain is there. Just to let people know that you're not going crazy, because that's one thing we all think, is that this is going to make me crazy. This kind of pain is unbearable. And I'm amazed at the human spirit and how we make our way through this pain and find a way out the other end. And once we're able to do that, then it just becomes so important for us to be there for somebody else and to share our belief that we can get through it and out the other end. And if we can just help anybody get through this, it means so much more to us and what we've been through. I have comfort in knowing that the person is no longer in pain, and that in some small way they're still doing something in my life, because I take what's happened to me and I try to make a difference for others, and in that way that person is still doing good, still helping. He's doing it through me, but he's still making a difference, and he's still helping. Other people's lives are changed because of what's happened. And if just one person is helped by that pain that I've been through, or that our family's been through, if just one person can be helped through their pain, then it makes it worthwhile.